we have a challenge before us as an industry today. And the challenge that we have is that this industry spends a lot of time talking itself down. And the reason why I asked the questions that I did was I wanted to actually uncover some of the things that were underlying and underpinning why we do that. You know, just 2 weeks ago, the gun report was released, and Australia was ranked the 7th highest country in the world in terms of creativity and effectiveness. Yet, if you believe the social media and the social blogs and even many of the articles that you read about marketing and advertising commented on by maybe some of you in this room, and certainly many people in the twilight of their career and maybe haven't worked in the business for the last little while, you'd think that we weren't doing well. You'd think that the quality of the work here isn't good, that the work's uninspiring, that clients accept crap work. And I put it to you that as leaders of the marketing and advertising community, that our industry will be better off if you start talking positively and start spreading that and encouraging your peers and your agencies to do better work rather than putting them down. But I've certainly received a fair number of blogs and even made the front page of the Daily Telegraph when we made a bold decision to appoint an American agency. I've made some good decisions and some not so good decisions, but at the end of the day, they were my decisions to make, and I think I've made more right ones than wrong ones. So, be that what it may. I'm sure Paul will probe a little further than that when we get into the questions. Do we lack the bravery to do things differently? Yeah, apparently so. You know, there's nearly 70% of people who think that we're not making brave decisions, and that's the cause of us ending up with uninspiring marketing. So I guess, again, the challenge to all of you in this room on both sides of the divide should be thinking about what are the conditions that we need to create in order to get inspiring work and great work in the market. And almost half of those people describe the Australian industry as small-minded. You know, even the Commissioner of the ACCC just stood up and said that this is one of the most inventive and innovative industries in the country. Yet we ourselves think that we're small-minded. I mean, I think that there's an enormous opportunity here for us to be thinking as an industry and as leaders in this industry to actually lift ourselves above that. 61% of respondents said the bravest thing that a marketing director could do is to dump its much-beloved brand positioning even if it's tired. You know, and I think that is a really bad myth and a really bad misconception that people have, is that marketing directors actually make those decisions really lightly. I mean, the value of brands, the value of our business is so much. It would be a very easy decision for me to make on sub-branding at Telstra. But we're making hard calls and hard decisions around the way that we structure our brands and what those brands mean. They're very, very valuable assets to us, and obviously they need to be treated that way. And finally, this is always a great chestnut, and I thought it would be, you always end with the money shot, right? Before we get into some questions. Do we get the remuneration that we deserve? Well, interesting, marketing people said, 40% of marketing people said that they'd even keep an underperforming agency due to a great relationship. I'm not sure about that. I think obviously relationships are critical, but underperformance isn't. And as Inez mentioned in her opening remarks, outperformance is what we all should be striving for. But 63% of the respondents said that marketing people were fairly paid, but 50% of the agency people said they need to be paid more. So, I think we've got a little bit of an imbalance here that we need to think about is this is a tough economic environment. I know that some of the comments that were made earlier on by some of the other presenters were talking about the economic environment, but Michael Blythe and John Stedman, is John still here? Who are rivaling around the upbeatness or not of the economy. This is a tough environment. We've got to make tough decisions. So we are pushing our agencies at Telstra, and I know many of you are with your agencies, to drive value and productivity, and that will continue. And I'm pleased to see that it's actually one of the most competitive media markets in a long, long time.